And we're not giving you just one Australian for your money, we're bringing you two, using up the whole quota for this series. In fact, here he is, the host of Channel 4's hit show, The Last Leg. It's Adam Hills. Very funny comedian, Mr. Adam Hills. You're about to appear in the Australian version of Who Do You Think You Are?
Yes.
OK, and that, I imagine, is similar to ours or different, or...?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's called Who Do You Bloody Think You Are? Okay. And when it's sold in England, it's called We're Not All Convicts, you know.
Well, you would say that. Adam Hills, ladies and gentlemen. Well, welcome back. OK, let's get right on, because we have a fabulous guest ready to come out right now. He was one of the stars of the Paralympics, and he wasn't even a competitor. It's the very funny Mr. Adam Hills. Did I say that in the evening? I don't know.
Can I just say?
Yes, sir.
Thus far,
yes,
this has been the most racist TV show I've ever been involved in.
How dare you?
This has been appalling.
Why? Because we have gently mocked Australians for their many, many shortcomings? I like to think that's being helpful, frankly.
The only time I've encountered anything as bad as this was I was in Newcastle upon Tyne the night that England beat Australia in the Rugby World Cup final.
Good heavens.
And I went to a place called Bar Oz because I thought I'd be safe.
Yes.
And 400 Geordies turned up to make sure I wasn't. And there were 5 Aussies in the corner. We were watching the Rugby World Cup. And the Geordies started chanting. And it started off with, there was, you all live in a convict colony. Then we get $3 to the pound, we get free.
Wow, do we? That's pretty good exchange rate.
It was a few years ago. And then when you won, they came out with get your shit stars, get your shit stars, get your shit stars off our flag. So I'm used to it, but I've been appalled by what's going on here this evening.
I can only apologise for this evening and intend to mend my ways now. I knew of you as a comic. I knew you on the circuit and doing really well. And then the Paralympics came along, and I don't know how many people caught Adam. I'm sure a lot did, because it was a hit for Channel 4. But The Last Leg, the show you did during the Paralympics, was just a great piece of work, really great fun to watch. Why do you think it caught on? Why did people warm to you as much as they did? I think the coverage of the Paralympics this year in Britain in particular was great. It really... Yeah. Like, in Sydney in 2000, it was the first time the Paralympians were treated like equals. Yeah. And in London, it was the first time the Paralympians were treated like heroes. So everyone really got behind all of the Paralympians. And all we wanted to do was a show at the end of the night that just, you know, was a light-hearted look at it. Had a chance to talk about what had gone on that day and what had occurred. And certainly, do you think it changed... I mean, certainly, I imagine the success of that has changed your profile over here. I mean, do people recognise you more? They know about you more because of that show?
Do you know what? I get recognised, but people can't quite work out how.
Yeah.
And mainly by... like, I'll get in a cab. Oh, where you go, mate? I go, yeah, North London. Go, you Australian? Yeah, yeah. And then they kind of look in the mirror and go, oh, you're the bloke with one leg? Yeah, all right, I'll take that. Yeah, yeah, I've been recognised.
So does it bother you that people think of you as a one-legged comedian, if they do indeed think of you that way, or would you rather just sort of be a comedian first and then the one leg becomes just a delightful surprise at the end of the evening?
It's like a little... Like, well, it's been a lovely night, and guess what? Ta-da!
What a great thing to whip out for the encore. If you haven't got any more gags, go, well, here's something you might not know.
But you know what? I was doing comedy for, like, 13 years before I mentioned my foot. Because when I started, I had a manager and a few other comics, and don't mention your foot straight away because you'll be known as the one-legged comedian. Yeah. Learn how to do comedy first, learn how to be funny, and then if you find a reason, talk about your foot. And I never talked about it until 3 days after September 11, I went through Heathrow Airport. And in amidst all the, you know, the terror and security and everything, the reaction of my foot was amazing. Because I went through, you know, the metal detector, it went off, and the guy came over, and it's 3 days after September 11, and then they're all patting me down. And he got to my foot and knocked and went, right, what's going on? And I went, oh, sorry, it's an artificial foot. And he just went, oh, sorry, mate, go through. No, go through. I go, well, check, there might be a knife or something. No, just go, mate, just go, just go. With a look on his face of, I don't care if the plane goes down, I don't want to offend a spastic. Just go, just go, just go. So after that, I thought, do you know what? I am going to talk about it, because if someone's more worried about offending me than they are about possibly letting a terrorist on a plane, maybe we need to change some perceptions.
And has that happened a lot, do you think? Because I got the feeling that during and certainly then after the Paralympics, certainly people did get more relaxed about it, about the different disabilities that they saw in the event itself and that they occasionally encounter every day. Previously, it was like, you know, look away or not knowing what to say. Yeah. Now maybe people are actually getting a bit more relaxed. Would that be fair?
Hopefully. I mean, that's the plan. I mean, I've got I can drive a car, you know, with my foot. I can feel the pedals and everything. Yeah. And I had my licence renewed in Australia a few years ago, and I had to go in and fill in the form, and it said, you know, blah blah blah, what's your name and all this kind of stuff. And then it said, do you have a disability? And I'd never seen that before, and I ticked, well, yes, I guess I do. And the guy looked at it and went, oh, it says you have a disability. And I went, yeah. And he went, do you? As if I go, nah, it's just a joke. And I went, look, yeah. And he went, oh, okay. How long have you had it? And I said, oh, since birth. He went, oh. Did you have it when you originally got your licence? That's, from birth would entail that, yes. Like, okay, hold on. And he like completely freaked out. Went away, came back, and went, here's your licence. And now what's great about it is they put a condition on the back of my licence. This is my Australian driver's licence. On the back, there's a condition there. Can you read those words?
Try to. Vehicle seating up to 12 adults, 5 tonnes, implement case, must wear artificial right foot.
For a start, I can't reach the pedals without it. And so how am I going to end up in the car without my foot on? What could possibly lead to me getting in the car going, I've got a feeling I've forgotten something.
It's just hopping out to the car, you would have realised something was not quite there, then you need with you. And so, but didn't you lose a bet? Is it still in the state it was after? Because during the show last day, there was a bet that took place, which you lost, of course.
Well, yeah, Alex Brooker, who was my co-host on the show, has an artificial foot as well, his right foot. So we had a bet as to whether Paralympics GB would beat Australia. Yeah. And because you did, I had to get my foot painted with the Paralympics GB. Wow. And it is still there.
Look at that. That's a proper paint job on that. It's not
that is a proper paint job.
That's pretty impressive.
My name down the side. And what's great is a week afterwards I went to Belfast to do some shows. Yeah.
I bet that went down ever so well.
Got out of the cab and this Northern Irish guy just looked at me and went, "You still got the Union Jack on your leg?" Yeah, anyway, you might want to wear a green sock over it here.
So the last leg is back. It's obviously not tied to the Paralympics now because that's over for the next few years. But it's going to be... Is it live? You're doing it live on Channel 4?
We are doing it live, yeah.
Live on Channel 4. Will he come there with you? And will Josh be with you on the new series as well?
Yeah, Josh is the token able-bodied person.
Yeah, you've got to have one. I know when you perform live, obviously you talk about your leg, but you also cater to other disabilities, don't you, in the audience?
Yes.
You always have a signer for any deaf audience members, is that right?
For about 15 years. Every now and then, and if I'm doing a festival, once a week, I'll have a sign interpreter on stage with me.
Do you do any signing yourself?
You know...
You must have learned a few words.
I know, thank you.
Thank you.
And the only other sign I know is from Australian Sign Language. And it sums up a phrase that only exists in Australia. And the sign is, you can do it with middle finger. It's that and then that.
So that,
and then
that.
And middle finger, both middle fingers.
So that and then that.
And what that means in Australian Sign Language is, fuck you, fuck the lot of yous.
Because that must come in handy. Well, there you go. Okay.
I was actually once on a flight and the stewardess came up to me and she said, "Oh, I've seen your shows and I really like what you do with sign language. In fact, I use some of it in the safety demonstration." I'm not kidding. She got to the point where it said, you know, oxygen will fall down and put a mask over and she did this. In case of an emergency, your exits are here and here. Which means any deaf people on the flight will have seen her go, in case of an emergency, fuck you, fuck right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Adam Hills. Great, thank you, Adam. Adam Hills, Channel 4, Friday Nights Live, The Last Leg, don't miss it.